All right, I was just getting set up for our next video, and the actual setup of the kind of the screen and the tiling of windows I thought might even be of use for some people, maybe not so much for advanced users. So all I'm going to do in this quick little video here is set up some views to do a demonstration in the actual next video so we can learn a little bit as I move along. So as I mentioned, I have added my electrical template file to my list here, and again on our application pull down under options, under file locations, you can see there it is there, and there's the full path to where that's located as far as the default install. And you can reorganize these over here and then they show up. So I'm going to start with an electrical base template file, and that's going to make some assumptions. It's going to set up some views and also some disciplines for the views. Now I have my project browser and my properties palette turned off, so I'm just going to go up to my view tab right here in my setup and go over to user interface and say turn on the project browser, not the system browser, the project browser, back to here and turn on the properties palette. So I'm just going to leave those two there for the time being. And now I am in just an empty file. Okay, and this empty file just happens to come with, let's pull this guy out for a minute here, happens to come with a family. Okay, it's important you get to know all these categories. They're not all listed here, but all the families that are in this project have their categories listed. If you add a new family here and the category isn't listed already, it just basically creates it. So under electrical fixtures, not equipment, we have one single little guy in there. This is the family. This is the category. Sorry, this is the category. Okay, this is the family name, and these are types. So what I'm going to do is draw a wall in here quickly, and then I'm going to add that guy in, and then we're going to open that and open up the nested family and kind of just tile some views in here, and again tee up the next lesson. So all I'm going to do is draw a wall. I'm going to go up to my architectural tab. If you don't see that, go into your options and turn on that in your user interface. And I'm going to draw a wall in here. And I am going to, I should probably check what view I'm in here. Look, I'm in lighting electrical. So I don't want to be in lighting. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and go down here to power. Okay, discipline, the floor plan, level 1 power. Okay, just so I'm drawing power in the electrical outlets in the power plan. So now I'm going to go back to here again and draw a wall. So I start my wall tool or type WA. I'm going to draw the wall using height, meaning from bottom up, and I'll say up to level 2. Nothing complicated, and base it on wall center line. I can pick my justification off of there. I can pick a plan offset, chain meaning I can join the ends together, radius meaning I want my corners rounded. So I'm going to just pick in here and wiggle around to make it current, and then I'm able to zoom in, and I'm just going to draw one little piece of wall in there. Okay, hit escape. Notice it goes grayed out, and that's because I'm in an electrical plan, and this view is set to be discipline electrical, which by default is going to gray out these walls. So in this view, I'm just going to go over to my properties while I'm inside of here, clicking in here to make sure you're in there. And then I'm going to go over to the discipline and change it to be coordination, which is going to be a little more friendly to architectural objects. Clicking in here. Now I'm just going to add in a quick window in here. I don't have a window loaded. I'll say yes, and I'll just kind of scroll down to my Windows folder here and bring in a double hung window. Sure, looks good. Just for a prop, and I can place a window there just so I have something to look at. Okay, I can continue. I'm going to hit escape. Now I'm going to go over here to my project browser, back to my Duplex receptacle, click drag, and as I go up against this wall, I'll get some options, and you should pay attention in here on whether you're using, in our case we're going to use a vertical face, but you can use place on face and place on work plane as well. Some different options, we'll talk about that. So for now I'm just going to go in and going to pop one in there and maybe pop one in that side. Who cares? I can continue. Notice the question mark. We'll talk about that. So now I'm going to just go over here. I don't have to stop or hit an escape. Just drag that guy in and add in a GFI. Okay, add one in there. add one maybe in on this side. So the first thing you're going to notice, I'm going to hit escape on the keyboard, is that this GFI label is going to interfere with the wall. So this is just poor family creation to begin with. Okay, but that's all right. We're going to fix that. It's part of our lesson here. So I've got a project open. I've got a wall. I've got a couple outlets in there. I've got a window. Now I'm going to create a little camera view here. I'm going to go up to my quick access toolbar, and yours might be on the top, and say camera. And just to give me something nice to look at and do a little camera view like this, it's going to create a view like that. Drag this guy over a little bit. Okay, pull it down. Pick on here, swivel around. Okay, so I've got two on this side and two on the other side. So I'm going to actually adjust those a little bit. I'm going to go back to my power plan. Notice that it's reorganized itself under coordination since I changed the discipline. So I'm going to zoom in over here. Seeing as I can't see these two guys in the back, it makes no difference. I want to make these a little bit tighter just for spatial purposes. Maybe even put it on this side of the window. Okay, click out. I'm going to take this guy and delete it. Pick on here. Drag this. Use your shift key for ortho to make that nice and straight. Click out. Now I can go back to that 3D view I created from that coordination view. Double click on there. Pick on here just to make this view, there. So I have a little view. Good. Drag that in by the grips. Okay, zoom in on it. Tighten it up because I want to make this as, I'm going to really be squishing the space on my screen to get all these views on here. So I'm just going to kind of tighten this up nicely. Maybe even a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to turn off the visibility of that crop region. Okay, so right now, if I was to tile my view, I could go up to view here and I could say tile my view. Boom. And it's going to take all the views I have open and tile them. I have a lighting plan, I have that 3D view, and I have the power plan. So I'm going to take the lighting plan and actually close it. Okay, now I'm going to hit tile again. It's going to tile those two views. So clicking in here, you have to make that window active. Okay, click in here. Pan and wiggle. Okay, so zoom with your middle mouse button, pan with that same middle mouse button. Click in here. The size of these objects will depend on your scale factor here. Once again, we'll get to that. We're just kind of getting started here. So there's two different views. Now, this is in a project file, okay? You have to realize what we're going to do next is we're going to take this family. Now watch, if I click on here and then if I click on this and select it, notice it gets selected there. If I click in this window and pick on here, it'll highlight it over there. So it's one in the same object. But this is the plan view of this, and this is kind of the 3D view, and or would also be the elevational view of that same family. And that's part of the magic of what we're going to learn about here in this entire series is how we can manage this annotation object. You can see there's a question mark on there. That's because there's nothing filled in the label. Okay, if I go into here and I hit edit type and I go to where it says label down in here, okay, and I can type in whatever I want here, hit OK, it'll actually fill in that information for me. And because it's a type parameter, it would do it for all the others. Okay, I'm just going to hit an undo. I don't want to do that. So far, all I've got set up here is another undo, is two views tiled in the project. Okay, now we're going to start to mine down. So I can do it from, I don't think I can do it from a 3D view. I need to pick it either in a plan or an elevation. So I can pick on this guy, and I will get this option here to say edit family. So I'm going to go click. Now I'm going into a special kind of flavor of Revit where I am opening up the family. And you'll notice that your ribbon in your menu here looks different. Watch when I'm in here. Look at the way the menu system is. Okay, now watch when I pick in here. Pick. All of a sudden, I'm going to get more tabs and more options because this is the project environment. This is the family editing environment. When you're editing a family in Revit, it uses the same Revit software, but it has a special kind of family editing module, okay, to edit it. So notice it tells you here, this is the floor plan 1 power from project 3. Okay, these are project files. This, it says it's a 3D view, a duplex receptacle.rfa. This is a family file. So I'm going to pick in here and I can zoom in. Okay, I'm going to type TL on the keyboard, which will give me thin lines. Clicking in again, and you can see that shift middle mouse button. There's kind of my duplex receptacle, and I'm going to switch over here to wireframe. Okay, so there it is in the family state. This isn't really of any use until you put it in a project. So we have different views in here. We have, elevation views, etc. of this particular guy. Right now, this is a 3D view of that. If I actually go to the floor plan view, which will look straight down at this, and I open up that reference level floor plan, okay, I'm going to zoom in on this. We're going to see there's that plate for our outlet, and there's that little symbol guy right there. And that's a nested family, and it's small because of the scale. I'm going to change this from 6 inches equals 1 foot to say ½ inch equals 1 foot. Pick in here. It does a zoom when you change the scale, and I'm going to zoom in on. You'll notice it's situated right dead center in these two reference planes where it's placed. And it's odd because it shows up when it's in a floor plan, but yet it's placed here in almost like an elevational type view, and that's what's kind of confusing. Okay, so now look what we've got so far open here. We've got 2 project windows open, one here with the floor plan. We've got 1 project view over here with the 3D view. I'm going to minimize these guys. Then inside of my Revit session, I've got the family open, and I've got a floor plan of this family, which is odd because it looks like an elevation, but yet this is the floor plan. So this is confusing, and not to be worried. This guy over here is the connector, which is our electrical intelligence. Okay, and of that same family, clicking over here, is the 3D view of that. Okay, now we're going to go even a step further. I'm going to pick back in here. Okay, this guy right here is its own little family. I'm going to pick on here. This is a generic annotation family. This is not a 3D family. After I pick that, I can say edit family again. Okay, we did this in our opening introduction lesson. Now all I've got is a circle, 2 lines, and a special kind of attribute label. This is our GFI thing. Okay, now watch what I'm going to do. I've got this one is its own 2D view. This one you can't really look at in 3D because all it has is a 2D view. Okay, then I've got these 2 guys of the family file, and then I've got my project file over here and my other one of the floor plan. So watch, I'm going to close this guy off, and now I'm going to tile again. I'm going to make this my current view. Go up to the View tab and say Tile. Boom. Okay, it's going to tile all those, and it didn't tile this guy, so I need to bring it up and then retile again. So View, Tile. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange these, and then we'll just stop at that point. So I am going to take the annotation, duplex annotation guy, and I'm going to move him over here. Okay, because that's the first step. And then I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to pull him down over here because that's the third step. And I'm just going to do some rearranging of windows here. So this guy goes up over here. This is where it all starts with more or less the annotation symbol. Okay, then we load that into this project file, this family file. So here we have our family file, and here we have another view of that same family file. Okay. Then we have this guy over here, and that's the project file. That's the end result where we do all our scheduling and all our nice modeling and stuff like that. So I'm just going to kind of get these guys squared away a little bit, just like that. Okay, in a nice orderly fashion. Okay. No, that's the project file. Sorry, this is a family file. This guy comes over. You probably caught that. You're yelling at me through the screen. Take this guy, pull him up over there. Almost there. So I was doing this a couple of minutes ago, and I thought, well, to do the lesson, so I thought, well, I might as well kind of just tape what I'm doing so you can kind of see how I get this guy set up. Now we can just, on my keyboard, go ZA, and it kind of does what is a zoom all in all views. And then in the meantime, I'm going to pick in here and kind of wheel in with my mouse. And I can change this scale if I want to go down a little bit to 1/4 inch, and it rezooms itself. So you can see there's the project view. This is the family view. Notice you have to pick in and then zoom. Okay, pick in here. This shows up. Okay, surface placed, and then this guy. Okay, so this is really the 3 stages of this family. It starts out with more or less an annotation family, and inside of here we draw some basic 2D geometry. This guy gets inserted into this family, so they're both RFA families. This is a annotation family. This is a 3D face-based family, so this is nested inside of here, and then this family is then inserted into the project, and then it behaves accordingly. So we'll come back in our next lesson and use these tiled views to talk a little bit more about our lovely little electrical duplex receptacle.